Hello, Paleo Tribe. This is Michelle Norris, the CEO and co-founder of Paleo FX, and I am here today with one of our amazing alumni speakers, Camille Story. Welcome to the Be Live, Paleo FX Be Live, Camille. It's great to have you here.
It's nice to see you, Michelle. Thanks for having me.
I am super excited about this because Camille actually had me out to San Diego to film her Paleo Kitchen TV show, and we had such a good time. And the place we were at was gorgeous, and the food was more amazing, and so was the company. So just really super excited about this. So what do you have going on there for us today?
Yeah, so one of the things that can be really hard for people during the holidays is just all of the temptation to eat a whole bunch of junk, like everywhere you go. So whether it be holiday parties or just gatherings with family, there's just constant temptation to eat crackers and cheese and all kinds of sugary things and tons of alcohol. And it just like the list goes on. And you may have been doing like really pretty well with your paleo diet, and then come December, it's like, oh, I'll just wait until January and get back on track. But it really doesn't have to be that way. And so I'm just here today to show you two incredibly simple recipes that you can either take with you to a holiday party, or with one of them, you can actually, it's a snack that I eat to fill myself up before I go to parties. It's got a lot of fat in it. So when I eat them, I actually don't really have a whole lot of temptation to eat all the things at all the parties. So these recipes have been, the one recipe also, the keto holiday bars. They don't have to be keto. And I'm also going to show you, because people have such different things they're trying to do, like, with their macronutrient ratios. I'm going to show you the template for how to make this recipe, and then you can adapt it based upon if you're doing like no carb keto or low carb, or if maybe you're just eating paleo and you want to do some sweeteners, you can do that. And then you can take these bars with you to a party. You can eat them beforehand. It's not just for the holidays. These bars are awesome, like pre or post workout. It's just like a delicious little fat bomb. So we're going to do that. And then I'm going to show you how to make a really simple paleo eggnog recipe with some really nice farm eggs. Egg yolks are incredibly nutrient dense. So we're going to make the most of that. And then I was hoping that we could just talk about some of the strategies that we've both used over the years to not undo all of your progress the whole month of December.
Yeah, and that can be that's really tough, especially when you are going to all these holiday parties, and like you said, you don't want to eat all the things. I totally agree with. I have a really difficult time because I one of the things that I do tell myself is, if I decide I'm going to indulge in something, I just indulge in it. I don't beat myself up. I enjoy it. And I move on. And so it's not really about depriving yourself. It's just about making the best choices you possibly can. And then when you decide to make a choice that's not necessarily the healthiest for you, you love and enjoy every single bite of it and move on.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point, because I think it's really easy. It's so easy to beat yourself up. So it's like you start in this like negative self-talk about like, oh man, I was doing so good. And then I went to the party and I just started eating these things and I couldn't stop eating them. And that whole time you're actually depriving yourself of the enjoyment that you could have from eating them. And there's a big difference between like eating 1 or 2 holiday cookies in 15, right? And so I think that if you're actually in the joy of the moment of eating the cookie or whatever, like you said, then, and actually like really being present with the enjoyment of the flavors, then it's such a different energy than the like eating everything.
Although I can tell you, I could put away 15 cookies real easy if I wanted to. I don't do that in most days anymore, but But yeah, I totally hear you because it's really.
Oh, man. It's human. I think Rob Wolf talks about it a lot in his new book about the hyper palatability of the foods that we eat. I mean, it's like they have been engineered to,
Yes.
with the sugar and the salt and the fats to just taste so good. And your brain is like, still this caveman brain is like, ooh, this is a good thing. I don't know when I'm going to get more of this good thing. So let's eat all of it now.
Yes.
So there's the genetic factor of it. But then I'm going to give you a test then. I'm going to have you make some of these keto bars and eat a couple before you go to your parties and just see if maybe you crave less. Keith.
Yeah.
And then
always add coffee. Always add coffee. That's totally agree with that.
This bar recipe does help. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to just tilt down. Tell me if you can. I think you should. Let's see. How do we get?
Let me do this, and you should be good there. Okay.
Okay. Can you?
There we go.
Are you able to see me? Okay.
Yeah.
So what I have here is about 1.5 cups of coconut oil that I just melted over just in a pan, and then I'm using almond butter right now, and you're going to do equal parts or roughly equal parts nut butter to coconut oil. If you want to do it doesn't actually have to be equal parts. That's what's great for people who are being really conscientious of their macronutrient ratios, is that if they are wanting to eat much less protein, then they can do a lot more coconut oil, and then they can do less of the nut butter. And I'm using almonds, but I actually really love macadamia nut butter for this recipe. And then I'm just going to whisk this. You'll have to forgive me.
Macadamia nut butter and coconut oil are like a match made in heaven for me.
Yeah, so good. So I'm just whisking this. The coconut oil is pretty warm, so it's helping to dissolve the chunks from the nut butter. And then something that the original recipe, this recipe has been very, very popular on my website. I think it's had like close to 250,000 views across my different channels. People love this recipe. But one thing that I used to always do back before I really understood keto and the danger of maybe having too much protein is I used to always do protein powder in it because I was using it more for like a protein and fat snack. And you can do that. We've been using this this bone broth protein. I'll use a little bit of it today. This is what I actually use for the sweetener when I use protein powder, because it has this has stevia and monk fruit extract. So this is a calorie-free sweetener. So I'm just going to do a little scoop of this. Again, you don't need the protein powder, but I like it. I'm going to be giving it to my toddler, and I'm always trying to find new ways to get him to eat protein. Kids actually really do like these. But again, you can skip the protein powder. You can do a different kind of protein powder. I'm going to add, so if you wanted to really be keto friendly with this, you could just add like a little bit of monk fruit or stevia, or some people like xylitol or erythritol to make it a little bit sweeter. It's all up to you. I'm going to add just a touch of maple syrup because we're actually not keto. So I'm just putting a little bit of that in. You're going to see how simple this is to make. So going back down here. So that's all mixed together. I'm going to do just a little pinch.
Push the camera down just a little bit further. Perfect.
Okay. I'll just leave it there.
Camille, what do you call these bars?
I'm going to do a little bit of, did you ask me a question?
Yes. What do you call these bars?
Right now, because it's December, I'm calling them keto holiday bars. But the rest of the year, we just call them keto energy bars. And so I just add a little bit of cinnamon. I like the taste of the cinnamon, but it's also good to help your blood sugar. And so I just have a little, this Pyrex pan and a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to smash that down. It's sort of a large piece of parchment paper, but then I'm just going to
So what made you get cooking?
Where did what?
I said, what made you get into cooking?
Oh my! I have been cooking since I was like as old or as young as I can remember. I actually have a scar still that I don't know if you can still see it, but I loved bacon and all of the processed pork products when I was a kid. I would make myself like fried bologna sandwiches, bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches. I was doing this when I was like 4 and probably 5 years old, like frying my own meat. Probably not a good idea. I'm not sure where my parents were. I was dumping out the bacon fat and I poured it all over my hand. I still have a scar, but that somehow did not deter me from eating bacon. And then I never intended to become a chef. I always did well in school, and I have a degree from Brandeis University, which is a prestigious school in Boston. And I did my official, important office job for about a year after college. And the highlight of the job, I was working at a nonprofit, was she used to let me plan the donor events, which included planning all the food. And I remember her bringing me into her office one day, and she was not a very nice person. She ended up getting fired. But she said, Camille, if you did your entire job as well as you do the food for the donor events, you would be my favorite employee. And I had like a real moment when she said that. It was like, yeah, why am I doing this job? I hate this job. I hate sitting behind an office. I hate sitting behind a desk. And within like 2 months, I quit and I just became a private chef. And I actually probably wasn't that good to begin with. I was just like a semi-above average home cook, but I ended up learning almost everything I know about cooking from just saying this is what I'm going to do. And I lived in an area where there was a demand for private chefs. It was an affluent community. And 8 years later, I was like really quite good because I was cooking different kinds of foods every day. And I loved what I was doing. And the rest is history.
So what made you start Paleo TV?
Paleo happened when I moved to San Diego, and I was already eating gluten and dairy free. And I was like eating whole foods, and I'd already done like a big transition of my diet, but I still wasn't feeling very good. And I actually talked to a girlfriend who, the universe was really out to help me get a handle of my health, because that very day I told her that I had just gone to a naturopathic doctor, and she told me I had nodules on my thyroid and that I had adrenal fatigue. And she was like, oh, you have to read these books. And she gave me Rob Wolf's book, the first book. And then she gave me what was his name? Datis Carr, with that horrible book title. It's like, your thyroid is horrible, but your doctor tells you you're okay. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, and I can't think of the name of it either, which is so funny because I'm personally going through some thyroid issues right now, and yes, my doctor has been filed at my thyroid. I'm perfectly fine. Don't mind the fact that I had every conceivable symptom of hypothyroidism there is, and a nodule on my thyroid, and
right. Exactly. Anyway. So that book, both of those books, I read Rob Wolf's book in 4 days. And it just was like, whoa, this makes so much sense. And like, I understood why grains were problematic. I just understood things that I'd never understood, but I had been in the health space for I mean, I'd been already a private chef and doing that stuff for almost probably 7 or 8 years. And so I just said, I'm going to try it. And I went like hardcore paleo, and I was making, and bone broth. I was doing bone broth long before it was trendy. But I remember I had the Nourishing Traditions cookbook, and I made myself a huge batch of bone broth, and I went paleo, like totally paleo. And like within 4 days, the first couple days were hard because my body didn't really know what to do with itself. But I just felt like so amazing. And I said, how do I do this? Like, this is really pretty restrictive. It doesn't feel restrictive now that I think most people who have done paleo for a long time, it's like there's so many things to eat. But at the beginning, it feels restrictive. And
well, it's all that giving up the foods that you love and all of the, you're giving up probably some refined carbohydrates and pastas and all of that, kind of like what I did, is having to give up pasta and pizza dough. So totally, it is. It's like you're feeling very deprived at the very beginning, but now it feels I feel like it actually opens a lot more things up when you have some things that don't serve you well. So for me, I think it's almost free.
Yeah, it can be challenging, I think, for us because we've been doing it for so long to remember what it was really like at the beginning. But I was really committed. Like, I felt so much different, and I knew that I needed a way to give myself the support and accountability to keep going. So I actually wrote my cookbook, Paleogasm. I wrote it in the first 3 months. Excuse me. I'm going to get some water 1 second.
No problem. Well, I know. So is this one of the reasons why you, when you decided to change to a paleo template, and then what actually made you, I don't know if you can hear me still, but what made you decide to Paleo Kitchen TV though?
Yeah. So, man, you're making me think today, Michelle. I was given the offer for the TV show. I had been doing paleo for probably 2 years at that point. I had created my Paleo Cooking at Home program, which has evolved now. I'll tell you guys more about it at the end. Paleo Cooking School is what it's called now. And so I was doing that. I had my cookbook, and I had a couple videos on YouTube, but not many. And somebody reached out to me. Actually, it was like the same week I found out I was pregnant with my son, and told me that they'd found my videos and they loved my camera presence, and they had this network, and they wanted to see if I was interested in doing a paleo TV show, which had always been like that had always been my dream, to be on TV. And so so we just went for it. And I remember, my whole first trimester, I'm, like throwing up every 3 hours. And then I'm on the phone, like talking to other people in the paleo community saying, hey, I want to do a TV show, and you want to come and be on the show with me? Like, let's do this. Let's inspire people about what is possible eating paleo and just demystify it for people. I think like when you see these recipes, when you see like in the 13 episodes we did of the TV show, you see, it's not that hard. It's different, but it's easy. It's just like the difference in making a fried rice with cauliflower is that you're maybe going to pulse a head of cauliflower in a food processor and you're going to saute it, as opposed to like boiling a pot of rice. It's all of these little substitutions. Or like, I'm going to learn how to use grain-free flours in my baking instead of gluten, which that can trip people up at the beginning because you can't just do like even substitutions in all of your favorite recipes. But just showing people and inspiring them. And I think that's also why the Whole30 is so popular, is because it says, hey, just try this thing for 30 days. Like, here's a bunch of recipes. Like, this is how it's all laid out. Just try it for 30 days. We're not telling you you have to do it forever. Just see how you feel after 30 days. And we know how people feel after 30 days of doing that. And so I think it's a lot more manageable for them than saying, hey, stop eating all your favorite foods forever, and have people be okay with that. But once you get to the 30 days, humans are not very good at making changes to their habits. We know that. But people can do things for a short period of time. But then if you can get them over that hump where they found some new foods that they like, they have these recipes that they're enjoying, they're beginning to wrap their brain around how to do it, and then making, some people who are really staunchly in the paleo community sometimes say, I have this paleo cream puff recipe that has over 1 million views. And people are like, oh my gosh, paleo cream puffs, what? And then other people are like, cavemen weren't eating cream puffs. And what a food processor, cavemen didn't have food processors. And yes, that is true. That is all true. But
this is
I can teach people.
This is a reenactment. We're not trying to make a reenactment. We can't make a reenactment. It's not possible. So we just do them.
Right.
I think we still make those choices that they would have made as much as we can. And we get to have modern devices that make it easier to make our foods a little more palatable than they had. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, a lot more palatable. Man, those cream puffs are pretty hyper palatable.
I'm gonna have to get you to send me that recipe for sure. So
oh
where's
my gosh,
your
it's so
bar at
good.
right now?
But it's just helping people to do to take some of the things that they've always loved and teaching them how to make it paleo, like a paleo chicken pot pie. This is how you swap out dairy. This is how you swap out your grains. These are the sugars or the sweeteners that you can use. And so that's a big part of it. And that's what I teach in my paleo cooking school program. It's the fundamental recipes. It's broken down into very simple and manageable steps for people. And I'm also really keen on batch cooking. Do you guys do batch cooking at home at all?
I don't. Okay, so we have our 2 sons living with us and my mother. So, and then our son's girlfriend. So,
I didn't know you had a big house.
So 5 people, 6 people in the house or whatever. So batch cooking that would normally be batch cooking is a normal cooking for us.
Got it. Okay.
I do cook a lot at one time, so I can at least have some of it hold over till the next day. So sometimes we can get leftovers or we can get lunch out of it the next day. But yeah, it's not batch cooking like it used to be. But where's your bars at? Let's see where those are at right now.
Okay.
So you want to showing us what we need to do with those?
Okay, so here we are back with the bars. I was just tearing off the excess paper as we were chatting. It's a possibility I tore off too much, but we're just gonna roll with it. So here I have some shredded coconut, and now you can mix this all in the bowl together. But I like to sprinkle on the extras just so that it is more evenly dispersed. And you can put whatever you want in this. Again, if you're doing super keto, you may not put in the dried fruit. But so now this is actually, okay, so what I have here, this was actually a bag of trail mix I got at Costco that I picked out the nuts really quick and I just chopped them in the food processor. You could leave them whole, but it just seems it's easier to cut. So I just have some chopped nuts, and this is just giving the bars texture. And then here, again, because I'm not super concerned about the carbs, and I like the cranberries are really nice and chewy. And then the pumpkin seeds, I also like for the holiday season, I like the green and the red. And then this actually has a couple chocolate chips and some dried blueberries. But again, this is just trail mix. I'm just going to sprinkle that on top. Another thing that I really like in this recipe that I didn't have today is cacao nibs, because they're really crunchy, but they're not sweet, but they have that nice bitterness. So if you can see here, you're able to see that, yeah?
Yes, can see that.
Okay, so now really I'm just going to put these in the fridge. We're not going to be able to see the finished product while we're on here. I'm just going to put these in the fridge for like 4 hours so that the fats and everything can gel up. And then we're just going to pull it out, and it's going to be on the parchment paper and just cut it into chunks. And they're going to be these nice little bars. I'm going to send you guys the link to the recipe. We'll update the description once we're done here. And so I'm just going to, when we're done, I'll just put these in the fridge. And those are going to be our bars. That's pretty easy, right?
Yes, very easy.
And nice that you can adapt it based upon whatever your special thing is.
Yeah, I think mine would be, I would probably put some dark chocolate chips in there and some walnuts and pecans. That would be mine. And or even maybe some cashews, because I like cashews too. So
I like cashews. Yeah, this has some this little mix has some cashews in it. You know what's also really nice is goji berries. And goji berries are like, they're really, really good for you. And they're like they're really chewy. I like having lots of different textures in my food, so this bar is nice too because it's like chewy and crunchy and smooth and all of those things. Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do your eggnog. And then while you're making the eggnog and everything too, be thinking about it. I want to know, what is your favorite part of Paleo FX?
Oh my gosh. I was actually sort of just thinking that as I'm like, oh, I'm about to talk to Michelle, and oh man, Paleo FX has been so fun. And we're living in Maui right now, which so like anytime we go anywhere, it's like it needs to be with a toddler. No, mind you, anytime we go anywhere, it has to be like very well executed. And someone was like, oh, so are you coming to Paleo FX this year? And I was like, oh, I don't know, but maybe we'll like make it happen because Paleo FX is so awesome. I think I've been every year for 4 years, I think. My favorite part, I think, really is just meeting all the people that I've met. It's like you meet people sort of online, or like maybe you're in a group or you do an online something or you follow somebody's blog, but it's really great to be able to meet people in person. I've probably like, but it's also funny because like, you know, when you follow somebody's stuff a lot, I remember the first year I was there and Rob Wolf's book like totally changed my life. And I was still like relatively new. I think the first year I just came as I wasn't like on the map enough. I wasn't speaking or anything, but I remember, I just like went up to him and like, oh my gosh, like your book totally changed my life and I'm Paleo because of you. And it was just like, it was just so cool to be able to meet him in person, even though it was only for a minute, and just thank him and acknowledge him because his work has been so important to me. The same thing with like Chris Kresser has been like a huge influence in my life. And I ended up getting connected to Mark Sisson there, and he ended up being on the TV show. And so I think that if you're someone who is like, certainly if you have a paleo blog or if you want to do anything in the paleo community, there is no better place than Paleo FX to meet like anybody you want to meet, to be able to like be on each other's podcasts, just collaborate in different ways is amazing. I know a lot of things happen. My TV show wouldn't have happened without Paleo FX because like it was the foundation for like most all of my connections, probably all of my connections. So that was really great, connecting with the different thought leaders and then becoming one. Like I definitely wasn't one of them at the beginning. And I don't know, thought leader is such a weird word. I don't know if I could really be called a thought leader still, but I do have a paleo show.
I would say you're a thought leader. You definitely think outside the box in ways, particularly when it comes to food and being able to help people change their lives. So I totally would think, yes, you are definitely a thought leader. So show us this eggnog.
Okay, let's see.
Eggnog, because I'm a big eggnog fan.
If you have not seen, let's see.
Yeah, put it down a little bit further. I think we can see there we go.
Oh, now you can see my computer screen, but this is challenging to do both. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to separate eggs. I have 4 eggs that I got at the farmer's market. And I'm just going to, so I have these 2 bowls right here, and I'm just going to pull. Oh, this is a, okay. There's like, if you Google easy ways to separate eggs, people have all kinds of genius ways that I have not mastered yet. But so I just separated the first egg. I think that the farm eggs can be gooier, probably because they're more nutrient dense. So I'm just
mine in the I do mine. I pour them back and forth in the shells. Everyone's on drink a yolk. So,
I was about to do that with the first one, but I did not have a good. I didn't have a good break. We'll try that again. Yeah. So here we go. So there's one shell, like you said. Oh, this will be better. Woo! Oh, come on. See, it's so gooey.
Yeah.
But so some people, I'm making this with raw egg yolks because the nutrients in egg yolks can be damaged when you heat them. The whites, however, it is a good idea to cook your egg whites, which is why like over easy egg is a good choice when you're cooking eggs, because it has the yolk stays runny and the white gets firm. But so I'm just going to separate. I'm not using the white. Some recipes I've seen use the entire egg, but I don't. Like I said, I'm not going to use raw egg whites.
Yeah, and I don't recommend. I'm of the same mindset as you. You should not consume raw egg whites. They really do need to be cooked because of the anti-nutrients in them.
Right. So, whereas the egg yolks are very delicate and are great raw, especially if you're using high quality eggs, which I highly recommend. So I have my 4 egg yolks right here. This is so easy, guys. I have 1 can of coconut milk with a BPA-free lining. You could do 2 cans of coconut milk if you wanted. I'm using, a lot of times I do make my own nut milks, but today I don't have it. I actually do like the taste of this one, the Barista Blend. I think most packaged store almond milk tastes disgusting, but this one tastes good, the Barista Blend. It's like thicker. So I'm just doing like half and half. And you can do whatever kind of milks you want. You can do all nut milk. You can do all coconut milk. I'm doing a little bit of, and I'll give you guys a recipe. I haven't totally finished the recipe yet, but I'm going to write that up and give it to you guys in the description. I'm doing about a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. You could use raw honey. You could use, if you want to not have any sugar at all, you can do, you can do stevia, monk fruit extract. And then this is cinnamon. I just realized before I talked today that I am out of nutmeg. So normally I would put nutmeg, or like fresh nutmeg is really good. And then I have just some vanilla and a little pinch of salt. And then I'm just going to blend that. And I'm going to enjoy this just like this. I'm going to not blend it. Well, I guess I could blend it right now.
Do you ever put a little bit of cardamom or anything in your eggnog?
I have not.
I'm a big cardamom fan, so
that's a really good idea. I'm a big nutmeg fan, especially the fresh nutmeg. So as you can, like, you look at it right here.
Oh, that looks so good.
It's really, really good.
And I bet it's going to be good with those bars.
It'll be really good with the bars. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I would put that in like my coffee.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
The creamer.
Yeah, what's going to happen with the raw? What happens though if you put this has the raw egg in it? If you put in your coffee, it's going to cook it.
You know what? I actually wouldn't worry about that. I would just make sure you
just temper it.
And then you'd be okay if you temper it. And when we say tempering, that means what you do is you'll put a little bit of the hot, just a little bit, with a little bit of the raw, and you mix it, and then that way when they come together they won't curdle.
Yeah,
exactly. Put it all together. Anyway,
the other thing you could do if you're weirded out, I'm remiss to tell you this because I really think it's better to eat it with the raw egg yolks because it's so much healthier. But if you're like really skeeved out by that, you could take this whole thing and you could gently warm it, just ever so gently, whisk it and warm it up until it gets to, I don't know what temperature eggs have to be, maybe like 120.
Yeah, I think they're like 120, 140, somewhere around there.
Yeah. That could be. But yeah, so that is, and it's delicious. Like this, I really love the combination of like the half almond and the half coconut. And it tastes exactly like eggnog, but it doesn't have any refined sugar and it doesn't have any dairy. I know some people, do you drink your eggnog warm? Well, you said you want it with coffee, so that would be warm.
Yeah, but normally I would drink it cold. If I was just drinking it by itself, I would drink it cold, for sure.
You could add rum to it if you were doing it for a holiday party. But yeah, actually the coffee sounds really good. I haven't had any coffee this morning. I might mix this with coffee.
So tell us, okay, so you guys can opt in to Camille's Paleo Kitchen TV and she's also going to have, I think you've got some bonuses for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Holiday. Tell us about it.
So we have a couple things going on. We'll update with the links afterwards, but I have the my Paleo Starters Kit, which includes, I have some recipes. It'll have both of these recipes in it. You can opt in for that. And then I also have a recipe for a roasted bone marrow. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. That's like one of Keith's
favorites. Have you ever made bone marrow at home?
Yes. And that's one of that's what I was saying is that's one of Keith's favorites is bone marrow. So
yeah. So I have a recipe for roasted bone marrow, and then I also have another one for a chicken liver pate. I wanted to think of things specifically for the Paleo FX community that they would be excited about. Not all paleo people are going to get so excited about bone marrow and chicken liver, but they're so nutritious, and I know that your community really gets all of the health benefits. So I wanted to give you guys that, and just the chicken liver pate recipe. It's one of those recipes. I don't typically like chicken liver very much, but I actually like it, and other people who don't necessarily like it, I've made it actually around the holidays and they really like it. So, and it's just so good for you. I'm going to make it this year, and I'm hoping that my 2-year-old will eat it. That would be. So you're going to get the Paleo Starters Kit. You're going to get those 4 recipes, and you're going to get a holiday baking replacement sheet, which shows you all of the paleo-friendly, mostly flours, fats, and sweeteners to use in your holiday baking. So we'll give you the link for that. And then we also have a special happening right now for the holidays of Paleo Cooking School Basics. I know that some of your community joined me. We did the first round of that in the fall, and that went really well. We're going to be doing another round of that, and they get we have some additional bonuses when you sign up for that program, which is holiday side dishes. And we have a big holiday dessert bonus that includes recipes and videos in addition to the rest of the curriculum. And we're doing 2 bonus. Well, one is a bonus holiday call. So that's going to be on December 13th. And that's going to be just more talk sort of like this, but giving people specific tools and strategies for navigating through the holiday season. And then we're going to be doing another call right after the new year, which is going to be sort of, what everybody is doing after the new year is, oh my gosh, I really want to clean myself up. So that call is going to be talking about like how to cleanse and detox in like a healthy, not super intrusive way with paleo principles. Just getting yourself back excited and interested in being clean paleo. So so we're gonna we'll leave links for that if you would like to join us. We do have a limit though on the size of the program because you get the private group and the calls with me. So I do try to keep them smaller so I can give everybody attention. We're opening it up first to the Paleo FX community before we open it up to other people. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely check the link out and then use the course. You can use the course in December when you're wanting to navigate being healthy. But if you're like, I can't even think about this until January, you can wait to use the course until January and just get yourself back on track. So so those are the things that we're doing right now. I'm also going to be doing live cooking retreats here in Maui. You can go to my website, paleokitchen.tv, or follow me on Facebook if you want to know more about that. But I have this beautiful kitchen, and this beautiful house, which I don't know, you can't. It's a big round house. It's
cool.
Awesome. It's in the upcountry Maui, and yeah, we're going to be starting in 2018. I'm going to be inviting 5 people at a time to come and for 4 days and learn all my tricks for making cooking really delicious.
Yeah, I want to sign up for that. I mean, I'm a chef too, but
I know you are. Maybe you could come and co-host one with me. That would be fun.
I would love to come. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So very cool.
Awesome here.
Thank you so much for being with us today and showing us the bars and your holiday tricks and the eggnog for sure. I'm going to definitely try that out. And we're so excited about the bonuses and everything. We will have all the links for you so that you can sign up for Camille's Paleo Cooking School, and make sure you follow her on Facebook and opt in for her Paleo Kitchen TV show.
And you guys are going to keep
get all those together, you know?
There's a lot of things. And you guys will keep seeing me. I have a bunch of recipes on the Paleo FX website. And so you'll keep seeing my face popping up if you guys are, if you're tracking.
Yeah, you can always catch her on there and nudge her so that she comes back to Paleo FX this next year.
I know. So. Now that I'm talking to you and reminiscing about my past Paleo FXs, I think I'm going to go talk to Craig. We love Austin. We left Austin in April and we're planning. We only thought we were going to be in Maui for the summer. We did not think that it was going to be a permanent, I still don't know if it's totally permanent. We'll see. But I miss Austin. I mostly really miss all of my friends in Austin, all of you guys.
I know. We miss you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come back anytime. But we wouldn't mind you staying there for a little while so we can come visit you there.
I know. Oh, we have this guest house. We have a whole guest house right over there, which has all kinds of space for people to come and visit. So that's why I'm excited to open up the cooking retreats, because I love teaching people and I want people to come and visit me at my house because I'm clearly not leaving very often.
I don't blame you at all. I wouldn't leave either. But thank you so much for coming on today. And
it was very fun.
Kaliki Maka, isn't that the Hawaiian Merry Christmas?
I don't even think I knew that. Well, I guess I did. I was born here too. Yes, I'm gonna go turn on that song.
I've heard it twice today, actually. So
oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go turn it on. Get myself in the holiday spirit.
There you go.
With my eggnog.
So much. Thank you guys for joining us, and make sure you check the links and that you sign up to follow Camille on Facebook on Paleo FX and her Paleo Kitchen TV. Bye, guys. We'll be back again sometime soon. I think we've got some more lives scheduled for you guys in the next couple of days. And make sure that you get your Paleo FX tickets now. We're in a ticket sprint that's going to be ending on December the 18th. And you do not want to miss your chance to get the tickets at the lowest price that you can at this point. Because after
Paleo FX, it's so fun and great.
The ticket sprint, once this one ends and the next one begins, the price increases. So when these tickets are gone, they're gone for good. So make sure that you get your ticket now. And thank you guys. And we will hope everyone has wonderful holidays. And make sure you're good at your holiday parties and everything, and that you just make the best choices you can and enjoy yourself. Bye.
Bye.